So um, I have very few slides, or in fact websites that I want to show you. First of all, in regards to disclaimers, I have no conflicts of interest. Just my daughter is here, so she might come and say hi. If you hear any noise in the background, just let me know. Um, well, last week, Alma and Dr. Fregni invited me to give this talk in a sort of an informal way about my trajectory and what my goals were in the last 10 years, I can say. And to start, I'd like to go back these 10 years in my life and remember that I was sitting at this very last talk by the end of PPCR and last session of the last day, because by then I'm not sure if you still have this, but not definitely not on in COVID now. But we used to get together by the end of the PPCR, right, for a 3 day workshop, final workshop, and then the this very last assessment was a self-assessment, right? So we would have a little form, and the last question was, "What's your plan for the last 5 and 10 years? What are you gonna do?" I just thought, hey, this is a very interesting way to make a commitment, right? Because you're not only making a commitment with yourself, with your career, but you're saying out loud for another 100 plus people to hear it, right? So this I remember well. Of course, I had my plans by then, and I'm gonna walk you through what I accomplished and what I haven't accomplished. But it was just a good way to think, right, about your life. So first tip: have a 5 year plan, have a 10 year plan for your life, right? And again, after that, or let's say by then, I was a fully trained surgeon. I did 5 years of general surgery residency back in Brazil, three of which were at University of São Paulo, Hospital das Clínicas. Some of you are from Brazil, but for those who are not, it's a very big hospital, the main medical school in the country. So by finishing the 3 year advanced program in in general surgery, and the other 2 years, I had 5 years of training. I was hired as an attending uh, by the university, the Department of Surgery, and I was taking the PPCR, right? So Marcelo, I think Marcelo might wanna ask us something. Do you, Marcelo?
I believe he was talking to someone else.
No? Oh, okay. By the way, I would really like to make this, interesting and fun and interactive. So please feel free to interrupt me anytime. All right. I think that if we leave the questions for the end, we might maybe run out of time. But then just put the question here, or maybe open your microphone and just interrupt me. I really don't feel anything against it. Please do. All right. So again, I was I had 5 year training in general surgery, and I always wanted to train surgical oncology at a specific institution, which is Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center here in New York. Very well. I came during the 4th year of residency to Memorial as an observer, right? And I got to meet several surgeons, HPB surgeons, which is my main area of interest, and also understand how the department would run, right? Both the clinical part of the work, and also the research, right? I got really excited because this was something completely different from our reality back in Brazil, and so I said, yes, I really want to pursue this fellowship, right? So how do I get there, right? Because by then I had no research at all. I had maybe a very strong part in clinical, on the clinical side, but on research, to say that I didn't have anything. I worked at a lab during my med school years, surgical technique and experimental surgery lab. So I did some research with rats and Amazon plant extracts by then. But other than that, no real clinical research. That's, the first reason why I took PPCR. I got to know the course through some friends, and then I really saw the importance of that at the time in 2010. Why? Because nowadays currency in the healthcare is publication, right? So you gotta publish, you gotta get involved with research, and for that, I just congratulate all of you here because you already understood that, and you're starting to build your career. Some of yours in a more advanced stage, some of you beginning, but just that's what it is. That's the what's more important in the world today. To be considered a good physician or a scientist is to have publication. Very well. So PPCR, we went through the different parts of the course, but by the end of it, I could publish something associated or related to my department, which was the Department of Surgery. And then after that, I worked on the steps, right? The steps, for those who don't know what they were or not familiar with the sequence, we have step one, which is basically all the first years of med school: anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, etc. Step two, CK, is the one that tests your clinical knowledge more on the diagnosis side. And step 2 CS, which is now partially suspended because of the pandemic, is the clinical assessment, right? Where you go through 12 actors acting as patients, so they assess your interpersonal skills, which is the base for practice, right? Clinical practice, basically. So then after you pass all these initial steps, and before full license, you're granted the ECE FMG certificate. And with that, you're allowed to request a permit, right? A temporary permit at specific state or state of the union. So then you can get to practice under supervision, right? That's the main point of it. So very well. This I just like to share my screen now, just so you understand a little bit of the process. Can you all see that?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Good.
Okay.
So this is the program, right? At Memorial Sloan Kettering. Um, This is a one-year international surgical oncology fellowship, mainly involving clinical training, also education, and the important thing, as just as a comparison, and I think it was a very strong point of my application, is that I was already an attending back in Brazil. So as you can see here, you're also responsible for supervising and instructing residents and medical students, and also the most important part on my side, to perform surgical procedures. I have we did a survey at the end of the fellowship, so I ended up operating 247 cases during that year, which was a fantastic experience in all senses. But just to get to the nuts and bolts of the application system, or the requirements, you need the application form, of course, the EEC FMG full certification, meaning, right, all the steps except step 3, as I said, which I took later on. The CV, a copy of your diploma in med school. And this part is basically the same as the application for the masters, right? Which we're going to talk in a few minutes. But the main difference being that there was an in-person interview, right? And in the masters, of course, you just send your documents and you're assessed by that, and there's no personal interview. So basically, a job interview. Very well. Um, do you have any questions so far? I'd like just to have a feedback, because otherwise, uh, it's not the best model, right? Just to to lecture you or go through my details and career, and just want to hear back. So I know there's people from Manaus, right? I'm originally from Belém, so uh, it's very good to know that you know we have maybe you might know some people in common. Very good. So after finishing the fellowship, graduating from the fellowship, which was in June 2015, I was thinking, well, a little bit before that, in fact, right? I was thinking, great, I have this fantastic clinical experience and exposure to so many different, so many different scenarios and patients and people, but I think there's something missing there, and I would like to have a broader view of what is what is research, number one, what is the clinical interventions in a population-based way of viewing, right, medicine and the healthcare system. Not only individually operating one patient or two patients or doing a very heavy clinic, but having this broader sense of research and interventions. And then even as we say in at HSPH, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of treatment, right? So I was thinking of interventions that would prevent patients from having cancer, which was basically my main interest. So that's why I applied for the masters. And once again, I think I couldn't emphasize that enough. But the importance of having PPCR and having finished PPCR was just incomparable, in the sense of it was way easier to deal with biostatistics courses and requirements, all the assignments and homeworks, even the epidemiology ones. So it left me a little bit of space to work on different projects and my main interest at that time, right? So just to stop there and put a little parenthesis on the application part, I'm gonna share the screen again and show you, because I watched some of the videos of Dr. Fragnia talking about the documents that are required for the application. I've seen Dr. Polanco, John Polanco, right, Alma, and also Dr. Castillo Angeles from the week before and the other week, and they all went through very specific things of the application. But I just want to show you the real website if you haven't logged in and you haven't seen it.
Great.
Yeah, it's let's see again, the sofas, right? You probably heard about it, but I want to log into the sofas website. Are you all following there?
Yes, we can see it. Thank you.
Okay. So then here it is, right? This is the centralized application system for all programs in public health across the U.S. and Canada, if I'm not mistaken. Over there, just hit apply, and then you open this page here. So on the page, I just chose Harvard Chan, right? And then hit the search button. You come up with all the programs that are available there. so you can, just take a look at all of them, and there are a multitude and a myriad of different focuses and the programs: nutrition, global health. I'll just show you what mine was. Mine was the epidemiology with emphasis in cancer epidemiology and cancer prevention, as you can see. So if you click there, again, going through the steps of the application, you need the GRE, right, which is a graduate record
Sí, está en H.
examination. Sorry,
¿Cuándo podría?
Pablo.
No, sorry, what my bad. Sorry.
No problem. If you wanna ask something, please do. Okay, so you will need the GRE, right? Basically, if you have tested for any of those, you're also allowed to. Although, take a look at this. This is interesting, right? This is not. These are optional for this cycle. And TOEFL, as the majority of us are international, from an international or foreigners, right? Um, the other important part of the application is the translation, right? If you graduated, let's say, from med school in Peru or in Ecuador, you'll need to have it translated through the service, which is the World Education Service Evaluation. And there's a fee involved with that, of course, but they get the most important part of that is the conversion for the GPA system, GPA score, right? Because in general, at least my med school, for example, and I think most in Brazil, they just give you the scores, but there's no correlation with the GPA score, which is basically your final average, right? And that is a part of the assessment to get you approved for the masters. Other than that, the statement of purpose and objectives, basically your letter of interest, right? And the letters of reference. My few comments on that are the for the statement of purpose. There's lots of books. There's lots of websites on it. I think the main thing, you have to be true to what you are, basically, and try to convey that in a very personal way, I'd say, without being informal, right? You can't exaggerate on the formality side, being informal, but you have to make it personal, right? I mean, it's right there. It's your personal statement, right? So you don't do anything generic. And uh, one of the important things I did was to have it professionally reviewed. Right, there are lots of services that would, and lots of people that offer that. They would just give you hints. Why don't you add something about this experience or that to make it more interesting, right? That can maybe can make a difference in this sense of making it stronger, right? Of making you a stronger candidate. Remember, when I was comparing, there's no interview for the masters, right? As there is for the fellowship, for example. And just another parenthesis in regards to that, for the fellowship, I even did mock interviews. There's also services for that, right? On Skype, people just pretend to be the interviewer and then go through basic questions about you, about your goals, about your CV maybe, and then they would give you hints back on, or tips saying, well, even your position, right? While you're kind of leaning forward or doing like this, or your gestures. So it's also interesting to, if that's your interest, right, to apply for a residency program or a fellowship program, and you have an interview coming up. A mock interview would also help. But again, going back to the personal statement, I think that a professional reviewer, or other than, let's say, your spouse, or someone in your family that is also fluent in English and would give you, it's there's no limit for reviewing, right? You can share that and then I'm sure you're gonna be happy with the results. And letters of reference, again, not generic, someone that knows you. I think that's commonplace, but other than that, um, another main point is who these people are, because at the end of the day, we also want to have someone with a certain weight, let's say, let's put it like that, right? Who's signing up for you. So let's say if there's two options and one person is very busy, maybe you wouldn't uh, would be a little difficult to reach that person, and there's another very well respected person, but let's say they have few years on the career, or less experience. Just wait a minute, take your time, and go for the more experienced person. And by the way, I think a changing paradigm, or something that really was the tipping point for my application, was having Dr. Fragni as a supporter, right? Because he's faculty of the institution. Yeah, that's it. Again, in regards to your CV, would say the same. There's even software nowadays that would give you models, or would automatically fill up your CV, or make it more interesting, right? And then just going to the Harvard Chen website again. That's my program I went through. They changed a little bit of the requirements. I basically had a very dense core curriculum of API and bio, and other than Stata, we worked with R, we worked with SAS. So very good experience, and I have to say that's what I love. Just so you have an idea, I took the statistics workshop twice, uh, just to have it there. But uh, if I could say there's one thing I liked the best, or that was worth it in the program, was the biostatistics. And as I told you, I also like to think out of the box. So one thing I did, and it partially was involved with my duties, because I had the firm back in Brazil. So I also like the entrepreneurial side. So I took a course called Social Entrepreneurship at Harvard Business School. So you're also allowed to do that if you want to do calculus at the MIT, or some other associate institution there in Boston. It's very easy to do that, and the credits will add up to your requirements for graduating, right? Again, a little pause. Alma, everything good there? I don't have the chat here. Is there any question on
Everything is
any?
going fine. They're saying thank you for sharing the SOFA's page, since they didn't
Oh yeah.
know all their how deeply information they could find, requirements and all the selection of the courses and programs that they want to do, and then also the
Uh-huh.
page. So thank you, but no questions
Perfect.
so far.
Okay. All right. So got approved, right? Got the. By the way, it's one of the most happy days you have when you get offer letters, right? So I got one from Memorial. Um, One of the happiest days in my life. I got one from Harvard, also very nice. But then you have this extreme happiness, and you also have a problem. How will I pay for that, right? So. Uh, of course, when here in the U.S., students getting in debt is a major issue nowadays. So everyone is concerned, know that it's somewhat of a problem, and there's plenty of options to explore. Right? I know you've in the previous talks you spoke about Fulbright option. I just want to put there as an option the Lemon Foundation, which has supported many of us in the masters, and the financial aid office. I'm not sure if that's specific name, but the financial office at Harvard would let you know, depending on your origin. For example, for Brazilians, they would say, hey, look, there's this option, the Lemon Foundation Scholarship. Do you want to apply for that? So they would automatically tell you what options are available to you, right? So I had already applied for Ciências Sem Fronteiras, which was the government support or the government funding. Somewhat they have, slight connection with the Lemon Foundation, and at the end I got 75% of the tuition covered by the Lemon Foundation. And what does that involve? You're gonna represent the foundation as a fellow, right? And you also, of course, by going back to Brazil, you have this sort of incentive, or you're expected to help with other fellows, right? With the network itself, going to meetings and just helping the country, basically, which is, I mean, completely aligned with my intentions, with what I wanted to do. So I really emphasize, or really think it's a good idea, if you're Brazilian, to think about this option, right? And what about the other 25%? It's still, a considerable part of the tuition. So for the other 25%, I got a student loan at Harvard Credit Union. The website is here as well. Um, I would just say it again, that you have to be careful. You have to do your math. You have to go through APR, which is basically the rates, right? And if that's the case, and if you want it, if you think it's a good option, I'm sure it will be available when you're there, right? There was, of course, there's a bureaucratic, or a process to go through to get approved, but you will, if need be, right? Okay. Salvatore, I think you turned on your camera. Do you want to ask something? No? Yes? Just your mic. Unmute your mic and please chime in.
Oh, it's okay. Until now, it's okay. I'm understanding everything.
Yeah.
You are
You
going
like it?
very well.
Should I speak of about anything in particular? What
You,
what moment are you in the career? And where are you from, by the way? Sorry.
I'm from Italy.
Oh, from Italy. Great,
Yeah,
great. Nice.
I'm a physiatrist, and I'm private doctor. I work in the
Yes.
private institution, okay, in spine fields,
Uh-huh.
spinal field, and I'm taking a look around. What are you saying? I think you are explaining very well the way you went
Hmm.
on Harvard University.
Are you
I
thinking
enjoy a
about
lot.
pursuing the masters, or any other type of degree, or not?
I'm,
I mean, no pressure. Just just a doubt, please.
until now I'm just a very enthusiastic TA for PPCR.
Oh, good,
I'm
good.
just trying to look around what I'm going to do after. Okay.
Beautiful. All right. Good luck. Okay.
Great.
Thank
So
Keep
you
in
we
very
have
much.
touch.
we have 6 questions from Pablo from Manaus, Brazil,
Okay.
and he said, despite those, well, let's begin. He said, "Hello, Peter. Thank you very much for your amazing talk. Here in
Thank
Brazil, we
you.
don't have too many scholarship options for master's degree programs in the United States. We know the Fulbright for this moment is offering only for doctoral degree programs. We also
Hmm.
have the Studer Foundation and George Lehman Fellowship. My questions for you are: one, despite those scholarships, do you know any other possibilities?
Despite the scholarships, well, I just said about the student loan, right? I know it's not the ideal, because, of course, you have to pay back, but uh, if need be, and if that's the real way you want to pursue, I'd encourage. There's websites, in fact, that would tell you what are the best scholarships. So at top of my mind at the moment, other than the Lemon Fellowship, I don't have any option. Sorry, but again, there was government funding, right? And one yeah, one thing that might help you, take a look at the Kellogg Foundation. You see, because there's a partnership between Lemon and Kellogg, but Kellogg itself has grants or scholarships. So try to look at that. And Ludwig Foundation. Ludwig is mainly for research, but they might have options in regards of of the degree. And another thing, you might not be eligible, or there might not be scholarships available in Brazil itself. I know, but it's we have a real difficult time working with research. But depending on your employer, right, you also might have number one, partial funding, and number two, like something secure when you go back. Last week we were talking about basically the same topic. I was at another event, online event, and but by then we were talking about clinical options, basically fellowships, and not um, the masters. So in regards to fellowships, we were in a group that 3 out of 4 were funded by their institution in Brazil, right? So, and the 4 of them did took the PPCR, by the way, and then 3 out of 4 were funded, came to the US for a fellowship after the steps, and with PPCR as well, came to the states funded by the institution. So it's not impossible, right? You have to think through and really put some effort, come up with your 5 and 10 year plan, and I'm sure you'll make it. Who was that? Pablo?
Pablo, yes, and he has,
Pablo.
yes.
And Pablo, are you from UEA or University of the South of Amazonas, or what's institution?
From the Federal University of Amazonas.
Yeah, what's the name?
UFA.
Ufa. Great to hear you. I'll have something to talk about Amazonas in a second when I get to the part of what happened after the degree. Okay, so if you wanna ask something later on, please do. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think that this was your second question. There's another 3 or 4.
5 more.
Okay.
So he said, how hard is to get the scholarship from the Lemon Fellowship?
Yeah, that might be uh, surprising, but after the hardest part is to get accepted to the program, right? Once you have your offer letter, then basically, as well as after PPCR, some doors are open. After you get the letter, other doors also open in this sense. Because again, I was just contacted by the department, the financial department at Harvard, asking if I wanted to apply for the Lemon Fellowship, and of course I said yes. And I just went through, and a few weeks later, after a brief interview, I got accepted for the scholarship and for the fellowship um, at Lemon Foundation. So uh, just that's another important point I want to make. There's two things involved with any process, either being the fellowship or the masters. You got to work on your personal achievements, right? So if it's for the fellowship, you take your steps, you work on the CV, do your networking, and if it's for the masters, the same, right? So publish, and then work on your networking. So there's a personal achievement, and there's the let's say the teamwork. The teamwork being who who you work with, and how was your commitment in the institutions you've been through. So that all counts, for the final result. I don't know if I answered that or.
Yes, and actually, you answered his following question. What that was
Oh.
that the dilemmas offer funding for several faculties, including Harvard.
Uh-huh.
How can he could improve his application to increase the chances to get the scholarship?
The scholarship. Yeah, again, the personal statement, the letters of reference, right? Good scores. They don't need to be skyrockets, but they need to be good scores on the GRE, right? Those are all important parts of the application. Then once approved, once you get the offer letter, then it's you're a different level. I could say that, and then other things will happen, I'm sure.
Great. And then he's asking you, what does the scholarship covers?
Yeah, so I had during the masters, I had two friends from the cardiology department, which is very strong. They also have the link. Both of them were from University of São Paulo as well. They were fully funded by Lemon Foundation, fully, right? Different from myself, maybe because I was at a different track, the cancer epidemiology, different program. They were doing the MPH. I was doing the Masters of Science. So slight difference, but at the end I got 70% covered by the scholarship, as I said, and 25% from the loan, the student loan.
Great. Great. Thank you, Peter. And then he's saying, what are the tips that you got for the interview at the program?
For the interview. Okay, when there's an interview involved, uh, it's I would say it's even for a job itself, it is exhausting and a tiring process, right? Because you're not going to interview with one person. You're gonna interview maybe with seven, sometimes 10 people, and you gotta really be prepared. And it's more like a marathon, right? You're not gonna say, well, if you don't run, right? Of course, not gonna say tomorrow I'm gonna run a full marathon, 20 plus miles, right? It doesn't work like that. So you gotta get there prepared, right? Uh, Again, comparing to a marathon, you start by running a mile, and then 5 miles, then 10 miles, and then you run a half marathon maybe, so that for your final goal of finishing a marathon, right? So the same thing for interview, or for, by the way, for any other application process. You work on what are the requirements, and then at the end you're just refining, your last details, maybe with a mock interview, for example. But just try to convey, number one, truth, number two, commitment, right? And number three, something personal. Tell them something, as I was, just to give the example, as I was an observer before applying to the fellowship, I basically shared with all my hey, say hi. I shared with all the interviewers. Uh, I shared with all the interviewers what I had brought back to my practice. Okay, what I had brought back to my practice. So if I learned a few techniques on liver surgery, I would tell them what I had brought back to Brazil after the observership with rectal surgery. So it makes things more personal, and they understand that you have critical thinking, and you'll be able to let's say enjoy more of what is offered there. Yeah.
Great tips, Peter. I completely agree. Thank you. And then
Thank you.
the other question was, what have you noticed after the master in science that improve in your skills and professional opportunities?
Uh-huh. Yes. Oh, yeah. So, I'll just share again. Sorry. So, what happened after I graduated from the masters? Um, it definitely improved my independent thinking. That's what I would say. And by the way, I would just I was meant to say this in the beginning, but I'm just referencing here a book. I think the name is Seven Habits of Effective People. But there it says, just comparing to what life is, that when you begin, you're dependent, right? When you're a child, you're dependent. You depend on other people to do things for you. And just for a comparison, when you get to med school, you don't know anything about patients, about health care, about, let's say, anatomy or anything. So you're dependent on everyone else. Then you start getting your own independence on your thinking, on what's important, on how to write prescription, let's say. But then the ultimate goal of the process is to understand that it's about interdependence, right? So it's not what you can accomplish on your own or individually. It's about what you can accomplish as a team, right? So that's the importance of surrounding yourself with people you trust and people you like, that you're gonna reach further, you're gonna do more and be more, maybe. So going back to what I did after the masters, by the end of the masters, as I was saying, I had this intention to give back to the country what I had learned or what I was doing. So I came in contact where I found the Lancet Commission on Global Surgery, which is supported by the Harvard Medical School. There's a fellowship uh, in global surgery. The name of the program is Program in Global Surgery and Social Change, with projects in Africa, in Southeast Asia, in the Middle East, in Brazil, and that's where I wanted to touch on briefly on the topic of Amazonas, because there are projects there. We've published a few papers, some poster presentations, and oral presentations with work developed in Amazonas. So I think coming from Belém, from Brazil, I think this really got together with my intention. So basically, one of the consequences of the masters, personally to me, was to be one of the commissioners. I even got to be a host at one of the meetings back in São Paulo with people from all over Latin America, Ecuador, Bolivia. I invited a friend of mine from Mexico, Chile. So very 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 solid, very interesting experiences. I would even like to play the video. Alma, do you think we could do that? Play the video. It's just 2 minutes, just so you
Yes, yes,
understand what it is. Because of course, you just uh, see this and apply to your own specialty or to your own area of interest. But it's a good example of what public health is, or what it involves. What can you do with it? How can you change a little bit of your reality or things around you by working with public health, and in my case with general surgery. So I'm just gonna play quickly. I don't know if the audio will.
So
Can
wait.
you listen to the audio? No.
No. So you have to stop it right now and then stop sharing.
Yes. Okay.
And then stop sharing. And once you give share again, you have to click on a little box on the left corner that says share computer audio. So now touch again share screen, the green button.
Yes.
And then when you touch that, it will appear on the left corner on the bottom, share computer
Advanced
audio.
sharing. Advanced sharing options, maybe.
You have to say share computer audio on the left corner.
Yeah, I don't have that. I only have share screen and then a little arrow with advanced sharing options, and then multiple participants can
No,
share
so you
simultaneously.
said you touch share screen, the green one.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry for that. And
Yeah.
then you will find all the windows, correct? Of what you
Oh
can
yeah, I got it. Sorry,
at the
yeah.
bottom set. Don't worry,
Yeah,
it's fine.
perfect.
Yes. And
Okay.
then, great.
Now, yeah, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can you all see there?
Yes. Thank you.
Over the past 2 decades, global health has focused on individual diseases. Surgical care has been afforded low priority in the world's poorest regions, leaving 5 billion people without access to safe, affordable surgical and anesthesia care. Patients requiring surgical treatment will face multiple hurdles: delay in seeking care, delay in reaching care, delay in receiving care. Reaching the hospital does not guarantee treatment, as many lack the proper infrastructure to provide emergency surgical care. As a result, many easily treatable conditions become diseases with high fatality rates. As many as 90% of maternal deaths could be averted by timely intervention. For those who successfully obtain treatment, 1/4 will experience financial catastrophe as a result of receiving surgical care. To save lives and prevent disability, an additional 143 million surgical procedures are required annually in developing.
So you can see they depict the problem, right? The gap in public health, the number of people that don't have adequate or good surgical care. That's basically what happens in our country. Most part of it. Take a look. Major parts of Africa, the Middle East, Asia, Southeast Asia. So again, something that really was really important personally to me, and of course to the world as a whole.
Countries. Today's surgical workforce would need to double in 15 years to reach our target of 80% coverage of timely access to essential services by 2030. The total costs required to reach these targets are significant, at approximately $350 billion by 2030. However, the costs of failure are even greater. The lost output will cost developing countries an estimated $12.3 trillion.
And there's another part of the masters, if you want to go in deeply into it. Some of the courses are in quantitative methods, decision trees that will give you numbers like that, right? So you'd have a prospect, you would know how much it costs not to have something adequately done like this. Quali, which is a number of years that people would lose of their economic life, in the sense of being productive, but then just losing those years because of chronic diseases or other type of diseases.
Investing in surgical services is affordable, saves lives, and promotes economic growth, making surgery an indivisible, indispensable part of healthcare.
That's it. So again, if you're interested in the policy part of it, the numbers that it relates to, and influencing whole populations instead of single interventions, and all that based in research, the masters is a very good call for you.
Great. So now we have questions for you.
Sure.
So Javier Gomez, I believe he's from Mexico. He's asking, do you recommend applying to a master's degree just after graduating from med school?
Good
And
question.
then
Yeah.
there's another question related to it. Stefania Enriquez from Dominican Republic, and she's asking, following Javier's question, I'm applying to MPH just after medical school, and I only have 1 year to improve my application. What will be the most important things that I have to do in that year?
Mm-hmm. All right. Just from the last question first. What's her name? Sorry, Alma.
Stefania Enriquez?
Stephania.
Yeah.
Has she taken the GREs? She passed it, or what's her status now? Not yet. Okay. So if you have 1 year, right? And I think the most important part, and the GREs, if I'm not mistaken, you can take at or in your country of origin. Are you in the US now, or where are you now, Stefania?
She's in the
Hello.
Dominican Republic. Oh, yeah. Great. You can talk, please. Thank you.
Yes, I'm in the Dominican Republic and I can take it here.
Say it again. Sorry, you're in Boston.
I'm in the Dominican Republic.
Oh, the Dominican Republic. Okay.
I can take the exam here.
You can take the exams here. So, and you're studying already, right? For those, or?
I haven't started. I'm going to start after PPCR ends. So in a couple of
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a very hard time, right? Okay, so as soon as you finish, just, or maybe now, just start taking a look at books, and even electronic books, PDFs of what's available for the GRE. Because, of course, I mean, you're not going to fail the test, right? Because, again, there's the quantitative part with analytical reasoning, like logic reasoning and math. And there's the verbal part with grammar and writing an essay, right? So you're not going to fail the test, but you want to have good scores, right? Reasonably good scores. So dedicate some time for that. Try to find your source material and study, seriously for it. It doesn't take long time to do that. A couple of months maybe or more than that. When I took the GREs, for example, I was at the fellowship, so and I was very busy clinically. I had to, and there was because it was almost running out of time. I had to take another city. So on a Saturday morning, I just took a train and went to another city to take the GRE. So you don't need to dedicate a lot of time to that, but just don't think it's only okay. I can do it. Let's just think of the other part of the process. This is an important part as well. GREs, and then uh, the for the networking we were talking about, try to come up with a list, maybe of referees or a list of people that would understand and really support you on this application. That's the other important part. And then after you've checked those boxes, think of a personal statement that would convey your own story in a good sense. Maybe something you did in med school, some research you did in med school, or maybe a field uh, that really interested you now in the PPCR, that you came to know other topics, something like that. And then going or answering the first question, which was, just graduated from med school, and do you think it's a good idea to pursue the masters? I would say yes. Yes, because again, you don't need specialty for that, right? And would give you a really broader sense of medicine and population interventions. I really recommend it. Yeah, I'd say there's no specific time in your career to pursue it. If it's something that interests you, sure do.
Great. And then he was asking a second question related to that. Pardon, Peter. He's asking, so what are the CV requirements in
Hmm.
that case?
Yeah, yeah. Well, um, I'm not sure. I would be able to tell you the minimum requirements, right? But there's definitely you definitely need some research, some poster presentations, or some articles published. They don't need to be in fantastic journals or high index journals, or you don't need a track record in research, but it can be zero as well. So that's another thing you have to work on for sure. I'll give you my example. I had good poster presentations and oral presentations, and maybe a handful of papers and book chapters written. It wasn't, you know, that much. I can tell you that for sure.
Great. Thank you, Peter. And then we got Damian from Mexico. He's a current student in the program right now, PPCR. And he's asking, hi, thanks for sharing your experience. I'm from
Thank you.
Mexico. And we have here a residency in epidemiology. What would you say is better to do that or do the master's and as an international recognized university?
Hmm. I see. I think that would be more. How can I put that? It's related to what your goals are. I mean, do you want to work more on the research side or on the field, especially now, right? With the times we're in, the pandemic, epidemiology is a very sought after field, right? It's a very interesting field, and will be way more. So let's say you want to get involved with the government in Mexico and try to think of the health policy issues or gaps that are there. Um, your best way would be to pursue the epidemiology there. But on the other side, I have not only this friend I mentioned from Mexico, but other people I met at Harvard Chan, that were from Mexico, and they didn't stay here. They went back to Mexico and have had very prolific and good careers. If I'm not mistaken, one of the deans at Harvard Chan was from Mexico, right? So you might want to check him and understand the process. Am I mistaken, Alma?
Right
You
now,
know that?
we don't have it, right? I believe no, but we can track for that.
No,
Okay.
no,
Oh,
it was two deans ago when I was there,
oh,
two or three. But
oh,
I'm
okay.
I'm almost sure he was from Mexico. Maybe
Oh,
it's
wait.
it's someone to maybe to reach out or to understand his path.
Yeah, great. Yes,
Hmm.
so we can find that. Thank you. I'll help Damien. He's also actually in my group too of students.
Oh, is he? Okay. Yeah.
And then we have one question from Alba from Santo Domingo from Dominican Republic, and she's asking, in the same line as Javier and Stefania, in your perspective, what are the most important aspects in the application process that you think is need to be met that could possibly help you get accepted in the master program?
Hmm. Um, well, the CV we touched upon, right? The scores, we also said what's the importance of the scores and the letters. But then, most important of all, I think you have to understand what your own goal, right? What do you really want? It's not just a one more degree, or maybe to fill up fill a gap. It's something that really relates to you. But going back to the website, right? You saw the multitude, the myriad of emphasis of the degree. So uh, take a look at them, and then you might find the answers right there. Right? Maybe just it's something that needs to be coupled, right? Your own interests with what's offered by the institution. That way you can make it stronger, um, a stronger application, and increase the chances of getting accepted. Just to give you this, because there was a lot of talking, but on the practical side, I was a surgical oncologist, so I was looking for something to relate public health and oncology. That's where I found the cancer epidemiology uh, emphasis of the epidemiology masters of science. Just to give that idea. You like quantitative methods, or you want to learn how to be more effective. Do you go for the clinical effectiveness program? Something. It's not a general master's, so something that you really like and what's being offered.
Great. Thank you, Peter, again. And then we got another question from Salvatore from Italy.
Hmm.
It says, is there any other kind of MPH program that is online that you'd recommend?
I think one of the tracks is an online, right, at Harvard. I think you know better than myself, right, Alma?
So we have ones that you have to come in the summer for for 3 years or 2 years, depending on how many credits you take.
Hmm.
Um, I thought they were talking about the programs in other universities like Tufts, that is also online, John Hopkins, that is also online. But Harvard, most of the time, you have to come on campus for the summer, at least 6 weeks.
Perfect.
It's not completely online, but some of them are like in other universities. But
Hmm.
Harvard Chan doesn't have one like that right now.
Yeah.
Well, just
Uh,
the COVID, we got people that started before and they're working like that, but we don't know for next year how would that be. We're still waiting on the orientations for that.
hmm. And just one more question. What was when he asked, was just about the masters of any type of degree? That's the
You said
sorry, I missed the part.
MPH.
MPH. Okay. Uh-huh.
And then we will look for that, Salvatore. I will try to review other programs for you that are fully online, correct? Because you cannot move to leave. Well, not right now because the borders are closed, but in the future, to live here, correct?
Hmm.
I believe he's saying. Okay, great. I'll help you out with that.
So I found the name of the past
Dean.
dean, yeah, Julio Frank, but Frank, Frank.
Okay.
Julio Frank. Then he went to University of Miami, but just to look at his career.
Okay, great.
might help our other friend.
Yes,
Mhm.
to Damian. Awesome. And then we got a question from Carolina. She's actually right now a site monitor of the University of Sao Paulo for a site of PPCR, a great student, and she took the program last year. And she's asking you, why do you choose the Master of Science instead of the MPH?
Bec-
You're explaining right now a little bit, but she's still deciding about that. She's interested in health policy
Mhm.
and management, I believe. Right, Carolina?
Yes, it is. I'm interested on the MPH, but the health management course,
Mhm. Yeah.
more like a career change. I'm not. I don't know if you know anyone who took that.
No, I don't. But you were asking about the difference between the MPH and the MS. At the end of the day, I'll
Yes.
tell you, there's not much of a difference. Maybe the number of credits, but very slightly. Let's say one is 42.5 and the other requirement is 45. Number of years, some of them you can take in 2 years and others in 1 year. But in my case, I just chose it because of the emphasis again on the cancer epidemiology was only available for the Master of Science and not for the MPH, right? But you know, maybe the MPH gives you would be more directed to the health policy or the with that degree you're more involved with the broader sense, and then with the MS you'd be on the research side. I'm not really sure, but they definitely intertwined. They definitely, I had lots of friends taking the other program on the same classes that I was attending. Right.
I understand.
Yeah.
And do you feel like there's more math required, not just to get in, but also at the curriculum?
For
Like,
one
did you
versus the
have?
other, you say?
Yes.
No. I think it's just it's basically the same. Maybe the MS would push you a little further on the biostat side. Not even really sure about that, but that was just my overall sense. But other than that, they look pretty much the same. In fact, you can choose to go deeper on the math part if you want, right?
Oh, okay. Because I had the sense that I should know more like deep math, like calculus and
Mhm.
matrix, integrals and stuff like that.
Yeah, in the let's say that if you're doing the doctorate program, you definitely need that. Yeah, for the
Mm,
doctorate program though. But for the masters, it's gonna be leveled, I think, for both programs. You understand? But if you're going for the doctorate, then you're definitely gonna be a TA on the on the biostat classes, and then doing your own calculus classes later on, something like that. Right. Am I right, Alma?
Yes, correct. Yeah, correct. And then, so y- yeah, it might depend on what you like, and I would recommend you to explore all the options and specialties that you can take and the course. What do they offer? You have to look
Mhm.
for the pencil and the lectures that you will get, so you can get a notion of what you'll be learning and what you'll be studying and what to expect of the program.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, and then really use your electives, right?
Yeah.
Per se, to go for your main interest. Like as I said, the part of thinking out the box that I went to Harvard Business School. I mean, I would never get that experience in my life ever again. You see,
mhm.
other than applying maybe for an MBA at HBS. But if it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for that chance, then I wouldn't have this exposure to the entrepreneurial side of medicine or healthcare, right? Because social entrepreneurship would involve both things. I think we had 10 to 15% of the class in the healthcare sector.
Great. Thank you, Peter. Do you have any other questions, Carolina, for him?
Yes, and did you have any like sandwich research, like ongoing Brazilian research with Harvard that and or
Yeah, I think my sandwich was backwards, in fact, because I didn't have something in Brazil, and then I completed in Harvard for as a postdoctoral fellowship or program, right, or part of the doctorate degree. It wasn't my case, but then I found this commission, as I said, and when I went back to Brazil, I could, hook up the link between Harvard and uh, populations in need, for the surgical care
Oh,
in
okay.
remote areas or something like that. So I definitely try to connect them, but not in the regular way researchers do with the postdoctoral program.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
Great.
thank you.
Then we have other question from Estefania, the student from Dominican Republic that was talking before. She's saying, I'm interested in global health, specifically mother and infant health. Would it be positive to focus the personal statement on that specific interest instead of speaking about my interest in public health as a whole?
Yes, definitely do that. I mean, you need to touch upon the public health part, but you should definitely do the personal part of it, saying your main interests. You might even have a good surprise, to learn that there's someone else working on the same field as you with public health.
Yes, great. I completely agree. And that also shows the passion, what is your target and what do you want to
Yeah,
become? So, yes.
exactly.
And then let me see. Also, for the scholarships, they are asking what does that include? So that includes housing and or anything, or just the tuition of the university.
Hmm. I think you can make the choice. I already had the housing. In fact, I applied late for the loan when I noticed that the 75% would would give me, I would have problems with just the 75%. So I applied late for that. You can choose if it includes your housing or maybe food programs or other things. But in general, it goes to the tuition. It's basically for the tuition, and you have that set amount to cover the expenses with the tuition. And if it's not, let's say, if it's not fully needed, you get a refund of your loan, which is, you have to work your head around it. But you already got the loan, right? If it was more than you needed, then you get a refund of the loan. So you get some money back that might help with other expenses.
Great, thank you. And then um, I'm looking for Antonio's question. I believe he put thank you, but I cannot find it. No, apparently no. Antonio, do you have one question? Antonio is a great TA in our program, currently at TA2, becoming a senior hopefully next year.
Great.
He has published a lot. He's working in the PPCR journal too. And
Yeah. On what area, Antonio?
he's from Belo Horizonte. But Antonio, please open your
Horizonte?
mic
Yeah.
if you can. Probably.
No. Maybe he's writing the question on the chat. Oops.
Okay, no more questions apparently. Guys, please don't be shy.
Just a minute.
A more specific question, dear Victor and Salvatore. If someone wants to start with a, a private institution of his own, I have this idea for next year for example, in musculoskeletal rehabilitation program, okay? Do you have some specific Master of Science or MPH that is more useful in your opinion? Some
Can you tell
suggestion
me
maybe.
again the area? Sorry, Antonio.
I have the idea to start with a, a little a small private institution in musculoskeletal rehabilitation. Okay, I'm a physiatrist. And do you think that there's some kind of master or MPH that is more useful for this way of thinking for the or for a project of this kind?
Maybe the clinical effectiveness is a good one to
Yeah,
understand the outcomes, right, of your
yeah,
interventions. The quantitative methods would be a good one as well. And as we're shifting to this other paradigm of technology and online in all areas, I think the data science,
in science. Okay.
yeah, the data science emphasis would be helpful as well.
These
Yeah,
are all of 1 years.
I think some of them are 1 or 2 years, and maybe you can even choose.
Choose.
Yeah, just to give the example, the cancer epidemiology, I could choose to take it in 1 year or 2 years. The difference being the number of credits, of course, and that on the 2 year program, I had to present a thesis at the end of the program.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
and you can also take other elective at business school. So that also might help you in case that if you're doing a private to construct your private company.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, good point.
Thank you, Diama. Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
So I want to have a question for you, but it can be for Victor as well, because this year they waived, they turned GRE as optional, but you need to prove math proficiency.
Mm.
So I was thinking of if do you have any contact to someone to ask what kind of aspects and topics in your curriculum to provide this information to them,
Yeah,
because they say you have to prove it in your CV and your recommendation letters and every other stuff, or if it's something very specific which I wouldn't have, I should probably just apply for
yeah.
GRE
I'll
even
tell you my
though.
personal view. Of course, I think Alma will have comments on that as well. But I think the part of being optional will be something that will work in your favor, right? If you have it. You understand? So some candidates are not using GRE, but then you have it because you can take there, right? At the centers, again, as we said, in multiple countries. So if you have it and then you send the records, I think you're ahead of those that haven't sent it. It's optional, but it would work on your behalf. You understand? And it would also how do you say it? It would also work for the proficiency in math, right? Because you're demonstrating that, and you're also demonstrating your writing skills, and as we said, the grammar, the analytical reasoning. It's not something undoable or very hard. I'm sure it's just a matter of focus. But Alma, please, if you have any other comments. Okay. Alma, can you hear us? No.
Pardon,
Yeah.
I received something else, but yeah, no, I agree with you. If you can take the exam, Carolina, it will help you, and you have the option to release the grade or not. But I believe that well, all of you are really smart. If you're in PPCR, you're really smart, and if that's
Mhm.
it's part of the program, and you can, if you at least in letter of intent, show that you received the statistic part, and that you were trained PPCR like that, and that you were trying to improve your skills in that way. But if you can do the GRE, I recommend it like a lot. I don't know what other um, previous learning experience that you got, or any other, I don't know, publications or anything that can also show skills, in quantitative, like, I don't know, analysis or anything that you have done, or regression studies. I remember that you were doing a regression, I believe, protocol before. So things like that. It was last year,
Mhm.
correct? They were doing a regression study for something, if I'm not.
Yeah, but it was just a poster for International Congress. It wasn't true publication was in the journal from the Congress.
Okay, but if you have the protocol or the complete study, you can publish it in the PPCR journal or any other journal before just right now. Like right now, we're working really hard to help people to publish. All the reviewers are going like
Good, good.
where a professor said the journal is for the students and the alumni, and like we're trying to get you set up like in 3 weeks if you submit the paper, if you have it available. Just another option because you also have to show your work. But if you could do the GRE and you can prepare, some people study just 2 weeks. I have one friend who studied just in 1 week. That depends on how strong are your backgrounds in math. But yeah, it might also depend as you want management. Math will be a requirement that they will be looking into that in your case.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
if
I
you can
thought
do the
about that.
GRE, please do, and we can help you with the publication. I always say that to the students, like let's try to publish to make your CV stronger. And I think as Peter mentioned at the beginning, is needed. The impact factor, everything is checked, and it's really important. So if you can, if you have the protocol, we can work on that, and you can submit for
There's
publication.
there's another question here. Is there a cutoff score for the GRE, which is also related to the GRE? I don't think there is, but the results come in percentiles, right? So you don't want to be on the lower side of the curve, right? Of the bell shaped curve. You don't want to be the alpha, right? Below 0.05. So just try to be on the right side of the curve, and with a strong CV and the other components of the application, I think you'll make it. Carolina, sorry, did we answer all your questions, or if you have anything that was not commented?
No, it's just because I was like in the middle of a foundations of data science course, and if the GRE was really optional, then I would continue to do that if they would count as math. But perhaps it's safer
Yeah,
to
I
stop
would stay on
and
the safe side. Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
yes.
Hmm.
But it's because I decided like last week that, so I just have 1 month. I'm not
Hmm.
sure if, of course, as doctors, we already studied for multiple tests, even in 1 month, but I'm kind of afraid. And it's okay, but
There are plenty of tests online, in Q banks. So try to take one of those just to see where you're at, right? They give very very good results correlated to the final result you would get, and then go from there. And you'll see, if you need to study much more or just right there. You know, there are many tools for that.
yeah, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm not reading more. Oh, another question right now is Damian. He's asking, I still have to publish, but I already have an approved project as a co-author in the institute I'm working in. I'm currently working as a CRA. Would this be considered a strong asset in my CV?
I would say yes, because you're already involved in research, right? In fact, you have a position as CRA, right? And you just put it in the CV that it's an ongoing project. If you're involved with a big project, let's say, I don't know if that's the case with an R01, or something that is already funded, then I think it makes you a stronger candidate. They see that you're already involved in research.
Yes, I completely agree with Peter too.
Hmm.
And then I'm not seeing more questions, guys. Do you have any other thing for Peter before we have taken a lot of his time already?
Thank
And
you.
we appreciate all your talk, all your advices, all the
Thank
details,
you.
and the tips that you gave to them. Go through really deeply in the application process, and
Yeah.
explain your path and how do you get there. And it's really important for us and you to share that. So thank
Thank
you.
you. Thanks a lot for the time. Thanks for having me, Alma. Thanks, Dr. Fragni. If he's not online now, I'm sure he'll watch it later. So thanks for the opportunity. Looking forward to helping you or to collaborating with you again. And good luck to all of you that are thinking on applying to the masters. You'll not regret it. If you came all the way through PPCR, the masters, it's just I'd say almost a consequence. And even PPCR is all the content and all the way it's organized. It's almost a masters in itself, right? But of course it's different when you go through the let's say the official way. But it's definitely gonna help uh, finish and graduate from the masters, because as a last comment, there's people that really struggle, right? They sometimes have to stop the masters because they can't work with their current jobs and what's needed to go forward with the masters. So if you have taken to PCR, it's halfway there. Go go for it.
Yes, I completely agree. And thank you so much for all your time and for all this great talk. We will contact you soon again. And Professor, yes, Professor came at the beginning and say thank you, but I believe you miss it. He will contact you too. And thank you again for your time. And thank you all. We'll have you next week. And I'll share the recording later with you. And see you tomorrow in the lecture. Bye bye.
Bye, thanks.